how you choose your mentor, it gets a little bit intimidating. And so I told my wife, I said, if I'm going to go through this 15 months process, where I missed my daughter's kindergarten graduation, she's holding up the Go Dad sign. I missed 2 international potlucks at my daughter's school. So if I'm going to go through this 15-month process, I'm going to make sure that I do something different. Because you know what they say, if you want something that you never had, you have to do something that you never did. So when I thought about choosing my mentor, I said, let me think of how I'm going to choose my mentor. So one, I said, I'm going to choose someone who doesn't think like me. And then I said, I'm going to pick someone who doesn't really know me. And then I said, I'm going to pick someone who doesn't really look like me. So, Pastor Marvin, you just stand up and see if I got it right. See if he looked like me. And so I was dead on when choosing my mentor because, again, I'm going into something new, but I'm going in with old behavior. So our first mentor meeting, I was late. Fashionably late. And he was there and he was patiently waiting for me. My first mentor meeting, I'm thinking, normally I have a mentor meeting, start at 5, probably over by 5:30. Well, the mentor meeting calls for you to meet 2 hours with your mentor. And we met 2 hours with my mentor. Not only did we meet 2 hours, but he had all the paperwork that he was supposed to have. He asked all the questions that he was supposed to ask. And we met for 2 hours. That was our first meeting. Our second meeting, what threw me by surprise, really threw a curve in, is because our second meeting, as we talked about DeVos and we talked about life and family, when we sat down at that second meeting, and I was on time, he asked me a couple of questions. He said, 1, how is your daughter Hedia? Then he said, how is your daughter Destiny? 3, he said, how is your wife Heidi? And 4, how is the event that you guys are planning, that you got going on, that you're planning for? Now that took me by surprise because I've had mentors who didn't know my kid's name, who knew my wife but didn't know that much about her, and 3, didn't take notes and come prepared to talk about the other things that we had in our life. And so when I chose Marvin for a mentor, he did exactly what the boss asked him to do. And I asked him to commit to me for 15 months. And he said, I'm going to pray about it and I'm going to talk to my wife. And I wanted to make that clear because he said, I want to pray about it and I want to talk to my wife. And the reason I want to be clear about that is because sometimes I don't think we take mentoring as serious as he took it when I asked him to mentor me. Sometimes it goes straight to our head and we say, someone says, will you mentor me? And we say, oh yeah, sure. Because it feeds our ego. But we really don't understand the process of when they're talking about the turmoil that went off in those rooms, when they're talking about the process, when they're talking about the homework, when they're talking about moving from one area of ministry to another area of ministry, how much of a burden that puts on an individual. And when we don't show up and be there for those people that we said that we'll be there for, how much harder that is on that person. And so I just want to first publicly acknowledge Marvin, and I got the mic so I get to do that. And the rest of you mentors in here, sorry, I don't mean to, but I do have a mic. So I just want to publicly thank you for your commitment. We made a commitment. He made a commitment for 15 months. In our last mentor conversation, we made a commitment for life. So not only are we going to continue meeting together, but we're going to continue what type of work we can do together in the community. And again, I just can't thank him enough for the role that you played in my life and getting me through the DeVos this last 15 months.